14. Beyond the Chaos. The crazy years. I felt like a hamster on a spinning wheel, stuck in an endless cycle of chaos. My days blurred together in a maddening mix of calmness and turmoil. One moment, laughter and jokes filled the air. The next, angry outbursts, traumatic events, and desperate pleas. I walked on eggshells, fearful of shattering the fragile peace. Criticism and dissatisfaction hung over me like a constant cloud. As Esther Marie entered her teens, her relationship with Henny grew strained. He struggled to exert the same control over her that he once had. Meanwhile, she found solace and success in sports, excelling on the tartan track and netball court. I proudly attended every competition, cheering her on. Interacting with other parents and supporters brought a sense of normalcy to my life, and I wanted Esther Marie to know I was fully invested in her well-being. My past regrets with Gurik strengthened my resolve to support her. Esther Marie's relationship with Gurik was strained, marred by vastly different personalities and strong wills. Despite my best efforts, I couldn't bridge their gap, and it seemed better for them to maintain distance. They rarely saw eye to eye, and mostly avoided each other. Gurik's bond with Henny had disintegrated, forcing me to spend time with him alone, away from Henny's abusive presence. Upon returning, I'd face Henny's disapproving glare, a clear sign of resentment toward my connection with Gurik. Henny's hostility towards Gurik weighed heavily on me, torn between loyalty and love. I struggled to balance relationships with Henny, Gurik, and Esther Marie. Longing to spend more time with Gurik, I faced an insurmountable barrier. Henny's control tactics intensified, often resorting to threats. "If you ever think of leaving me, just remember, I'll destroy you in court." He boasted of being Oudtshoorn's top divorce lawyer. In January 2008, I launched my own work-from-home real estate agency, driven by two key motivations: Henny's inability to support us financially and my urgent need for independence from his suffocating control. The lawyer-estate agent combination seemed ideal. However, our business partnership sparked incessant conflicts, particularly over my commission. Henny consistently pushed me to negotiate higher rates, fueling relentless disputes. Fortunately, Christie's guidance as my business coach provided crucial support. Our monthly meetings instilled courage and validation, empowering me to press on. I consistently left our sessions feeling seen, heard, and valued. This boost of confidence propelled me forward, equipping me to tackle the next set of challenges until our next meeting. The year following my dad's passing, we moved in with my mom. We extended a section of the house, allowing us to live together comfortably. This was a welcome respite after 4 years of constant relocation, searching for rental houses that accommodated Henny's physical limitations. A daunting task that had become a nightmare. Her home, filled with treasured childhood memories, held profound significance. Finding permanence in our living situation brought me immense relief, surrounded by familiar comforts. Built when I was just 2 years old, after my parents moved from Pretoria to Oudtshoorn, this house was my sanctuary, a place where I felt safe and secure. The trees I swung from as a child, my childhood bedroom, now Esther Marie's, and the warmth of my mom's loving presence enveloped me in a sense of tranquility. Henny's condition worsened, with arthritis ravaging his body and debilitating headaches requiring at least 6 Schedule 5 painkillers daily. Furthermore, he struggled with mental health challenges, relying on antidepressants and mood stabilizers to manage his emotions. As his addiction to painkillers intensified, his highs and lows became increasingly unpredictable, creating a volatile mix of physical and emotional turmoil. I had a small circle of cherished lady friends, confidants with whom I shared afternoon visits. Although I found a listening ear among them, a code of secrecy within myself prevented me from revealing everything. I feared that sharing my truth would force me to change my life, leave Henny, and start anew. I didn't feel strong enough to venture out on my own. His threats had instilled deep insecurity within me. In the tumultuous week leading up to my mom's passing, we faced another shattering blow. Johan's devastating death at 21. The irony was crushing. Having just come of age, he should have been embarking on a promising future. But grey zone lymphoma, a rare and aggressive cancer, heartbreakingly cut his life short after ravaging him for a year. Johan had moved to his mom's in 2005, and his passing dealt a severe blow to Henny, who cherished him as his favourite among the boys. I abandoned journaling and spirituality, disillusioned with the world and my own heart. Yet, a hunger within me persisted, driving me to seek more from life. I immersed myself in personal development, consuming books, audios, and talks by renowned motivational speakers. Taking a leap of faith, I invested in Shad Helmstetter's comprehensive digital audio collection, the Encyclopedia of Self-Talk, despite its hefty price tag. This 8-volume, 32-session series covering key self-talk areas was a significant financial commitment, but I closed my eyes and chose to invest in myself. Dr. Helmstetter convincingly highlighted self-talk's crucial role in shaping our life path and success. Listening to repeated, positive, and uplifting self-talk rewires your brain to believe in yourself. The more you listen, the truer it becomes. Most notably, self-talk fosters gratitude, which becomes increasingly ingrained and natural. I played these programs daily in every possible space, kitchen, bathroom, and beyond. My car transformed into a mobile library where these talks were my exclusive listening choice. Remarkably, I convinced Henny to play the audio softly on my bedside table as we fell asleep, a rare moment of accord. Additionally, I printed and displayed inspiring quotes on my office vision board, and Christy continued to provide steadfast guidance through life's challenges, meeting regularly with me, Gurik, Esther Marie, or Henny. In my inner world, I once again discovered refuge. With the guidance of my personal motivation gurus, I began to reframe my self-talk, fostering a sense of progress. I ceased seeing myself as a victim and instead recognized my capacity for change and growth. I could change me, but not Henny. Leaving him seemed impossible. I consciously started choosing gratitude as my daily companion. With every situation that unfolded, I asked myself, what could have been worse? And inevitably, I found something. This simple shift in perspective transformed my mindset. I began to say thank you for each experience, embracing it as an opportunity for soul growth. Evolve more, my inner voice encouraged.